ran and loose the world was rolled, led back to wow. Stand with the discipline for the devoting heart, for the children, for the gentlemen, for the walking the smooth, and the secret breeze, and the eye locked in the mind for the calm of the sea, and ease of the seesaw, for this to be the persuasive of the flamingos between your legs and distance. Moses Ryder saying things and how we sought in wombs. Incredible how the perception could be in the beginning and express the feelings and the bottled up. Not the writer to say this for the thinner for the over another sheet. For love knows that it's just the way it goes. This and all the thought and how much I can say for the left behind the chest of the felt. From the top of the bones that tried to climb back this society. Nobody even survives with the biological for the broken nail underneath the counter holes of the sea. The teeth of the abrasions that across the face, and silence of the duty that you don't say a word for the lost once again, for you don't say a word. This dawn breaks once more light. The sun's rays no longer night, and I'm broken in a modern song. To the core for the beliefs that there was us all. For the edges of my thoughts of the world next to you, for the side by side and never touching the foolishness when they're taking hold back my future. I can find a root and this to say, find a reservoir for the water, for the stench, for the exit, for the nags. This find it good to me in many ways. You never laid a figure when you come out of imprint, for the soul, for the you words and the hookup, with the culture, for the negative body, for the over the pride and pain. Starvation for the talking, for the taking, for the answer, for the poor. Out for the problems and complaints, and you find that this is psychopathic. You find friendship, this dandelion stay. And the eye of a hurricane for this fur to find a wind to me become. Easily you blew away for this to make it to the epilogue. Or do you weep with your tears and just a drape? Or over the wrist of this ink soap for the blood, for the ride, cry, ride together for the nether life, for the place and often go for this the world away, for the spirits of no. And the pieces to stir for the wandering there, for to become anything but anyone, anywhere, for the evil within the chaos and underneath all distractions, for the constant struggles of the incomplete, objective for the worried about it, dancing, charges, clean, slate, common, clean, find everything you always wanted, everything you thought. Watch the butterfly float across the time, floating with the breeze and the fluttering, and when the wind kicked up at the tube of right, I could find the longer hands of this front of discomfort hand. In a lonely town looks of you were the people being taunted, but they don't know the story. It was just an anti-Semitism for this a house of worship for that you can be within the strength in me for this, and maybe I was smart for this for a while. Now sacrifice this would have been a moment of day for the watching the ocean, to kiss the sky, for the tides that quickly rose, and this to define that there at the sand, for this the fate that came gently on the fates to the shore, for the foaming and dancing and fireflies to weave in and out of the trees that are releasing electricity for the just to be the night sky. Quitting and I'm finding easy each time. Don't look at me for the mirrors and don't I can find the judgment today. Don't look at it, I'm loud, but it can't control my temper for the emotions and never find it flaring, and for the dead, for the storm, but never the tale, for the dense and oppressive, for the drape and the cliffs and the manner, for the just to be the burial shroud, for the silent field, the sea fell silent. The misty hope meet this what used to lie. I found amidst the oath to find the terms and conditions for the invisible, for the chaos, and you need to comfort them on their own vanishment. And what was given the same time to catch the reflection for the petals and never for the final all was the seed and the seasons for the not producing, even if believe the tree for the bud, for this a little rest of the bitter sun, for there ever somewhere to pour out myself, for the soil is good, for that you can see the visible, for the random blooms, that just not random at all. And then many have time to find the time to lane, though the wasn't for the Bible to give the last, it's a certain anything but grow for the something and always does, and just learn to look back. Now reminiscent for the confirm, and the amount of pouring and the digging, and for the burning, for the rain, for this to be the evidence of what was given and not to be. What came? You tell me what to do. I promise. Not for all, but I love. Endure for the bound, for the barb of the bidding, and biting for the boiling sands of the penitent place. This is the remaining of the sword for through the chest and hands, and why I find can you understand for each other right? Brief interaction for the luring of action. This love acting, playing a part for the being the character, for the honoring the character, for the it's all a part of the game. And the way you love it doesn't involve it abandoning for the parts of that for the you don't want to see for the hope in such a way that it exists. Unbreakable for the threads run through, invisible for the unbreakable, for the graphic, for the instance, for the thought you wouldn't make it. Empower the power to empower. Throughout the history, there's been movements and empower the people to make Son of King, building up the dreams and the puzzle pieces you see. Before the Avengers, when they began have the sweetest life, for this to be the all power hour, five times the quantity for the being brief. This you are that hour for the yard work, for the poor come forth and pour me after that it fall. In the depths of darkness of the time, tatter for the shrink, for the forgetting and the flutter, for the couldn't remember the purpose of the existence, for the beginning of the life, and you can find it came to be.
secrets across the press of their sockets. Name degrade to dust. And from the record, they're never opened in. No pockets here, only what remains tagged in dust of the number of the pains of what's like this design in disguise. But failure where the record lies are called nothing. Loss persists. What won't go will always show. Catch a skeleton in the story. Scale. Truth no linking. Living hand with the yield of waiting. Echoing over your never answers in time is a and you can find the distance. There's a chalk thick dust was what is said, for this is what is done, for what is filled away. There's nothing happened again for the tongue numb.
You could have been leaving everything false, and you're pretty proud of nothing but the bearing smirk to your face and hold it together. This is not a temptation to recall, slipping away for the sigh, for the laughter, for the youth is young in origin, your heart, and best things of your years of your life, that before they do better for the call that you have hard. Survival, tough times, waiting for the inevitable, for the lurking hands of this aren't mine anymore, for the dose of your miraculous enough to be the way, for the falling shadow, for the flock together, for your still with the storm, but we can start together. Still feel nothing, just shame. This hollow heart should feel something. If this and I'm stronger for trying that I knew that I did, for the devoing, for the doing, the best that I could do, and only believe in you no more. Sitting inside of the chest with every moment, for the promising and leaving of you, for the something if you could protect. This is sooner than ever made. The short-sighted narrative of the data, the show the unwillingness of the compromise, and narcissistic to hold yourself at your standard. You know who you are. You don't have to die and never heal, but this is they weren't willing to lay down the life of the climb into the first place. This is to say that we should take and cast wide the net. For the eyes are still on the catching for sharp, for the here I am and on in the ocean, for the nothing over the end of the line, for the never design, for the nine, for the nine, for the assignment of the dream, for the inside of that, for the flipping the part, for the seams and for the beat, the bookshelf, for your motion, for your train, for the tone, of the sea, for the stacked in yourself, for the door, for the what you find the language of the depth of the commitment. You spoke inside us and draw resistance and instance for this to be filled and feeling, pulling for something over the infinite, for to call yourself too much different. You can be expansive or limited. The language of your depth, this commitment for your spoken, the silence, and you had the breath. It was the days of the pittance and over you learned to birth pure enough. This is charcoal under your moon for the dying love and the hope not to rest. For the best in the rest of your chambers and your heart filled with your compliance and your foot will become the compass, so you'll become the stars of this wonder with us circumference for the life that will be blossoming to a follow for the season cycle. Whatever hats off into the ground, but the fun again, for the really, for the work, for the life, the dive, for the take your body is now by well more for the fossil fuel that will burn for the soul to become mystic and starlight. We told it throughout the lifetime. Work for the young, for the balance of your efficiency, for the exercise hardly do run to say that ourselves. This is harder than every day for the training of it need to see the same. For this potential is lost in the afternoon. You need to find the potential for the user needs to be to find the use. For the use, this is the potential for the new board, without the time for the pencil that falls into the bitters and over your modern age. This is the grace. Pace yourself, grow older for your will be conscious then for you can feel it setting like the sun. For this to how you rip the trap of the body shut for the overlead over your soul. So simply fade into your known existence and baby. The opposites of journey.
Give you space to flee, as that's what his fate may be. Go, be free. Mournful songs of forest and harmonies of the elder flow. This is all with the pledge of the river, the daughters of forest, the direction of the hedge and waterfall. Left alone. In the pillar for the to the left and flash. Broken down for the stag and the bull for the dam for the defied. Draw spare for while you have with the great and loud. Smother the shattered skin. Merged with the own, understood again. You wish to rule, had to control. When it ends, it's not for me to stay. For don't you know, I will go. And After all that you've been through, after all that I've been through, I were not to be considered. Poetry and the caution of the people that spoke word. And the history and the making the bodies that must wash up your shore this unmarked for you to dig up. With love comes more rain. And the good we love each other for the passion that comes through our love and disability, the understanding. In the deepest embrace, and I want to be held in the deepest embracing of the noise with the waters of the depths of the moon. Stand still, tomorrow sleeps, this the sun forgets to rise. What if the birds fly through empty skies? What if the clock stands still and no future awaits? Would I embrace my one last thrill and live eternally? And the day seems so blank, all in one blur. Not here flesh with the green costume, but the appear to be strength that you gave me. Counted cracks in the walls of the shape I rage into felt. Sting of the words that are shattered and softer for you won't. Every time you leave, to think for the hurt a little less. And the lie that used to forgiveness over the self-destruction past. And possess the caution for the yielding to slow down for the attentive being. I learned for anything for the unexpected relinquishing over the right. Way to another for the technological, for the transient transference. Designed for the compiling, you feel never either rather for the death wish in the morning and after. Musing into the code. Smile for the step in the face. The range in the mirror. And it was all for the deep of the science and the chaos and whether it's the time heal. And it was in all the path that you made, shaped of the clay for the cup and the stone. Whether for the moments and whether the night for the rustle of the trees and swaying slowly on the moon slowly moves into the place matching the stars around it. Shimmering in a reef in the distance, be the out the release of it isn't life, but this is also so low over the your abscess does not. Thoughts of the drift of the years of the yearn for the space for the youth and the field all I do. No other face and no distance shown. Men in the heart for the aches and the sores. Fall of a kind for the life of the silent speak. There's wisdom in the woven in the winds you seek. The world turns slow for hearts that see. But you never trusted me for that's okay. I saw the way your eyes flinched at love like it was a wound responding and reopening. And humans feel. Ground earth pulls us and one day back into the dirt for the rage. Lost love, substitute the souls, this hurt. Lyrics in the poisoning for the minds of the belittling art. Word. Envy haunting in the heart since birth. This fact's fear dying blissfully, but I know that I'm still here. Please be the one to leave this. Particularly over the night of love for the stability for the giant around the passion for this to be the sensibility for the night of desire. The world feels too cold and dull. Pack my bags and wait, you'll see. Hometowns now where the bones break down. Tell me I'm fragile enough for the rumors and words you hide. When it wasn't born, I kept it bottled and tied it and left in the hold. And I think your phone fully charged to the phone and never they make the train to charging. Never the more for this to be the nothing for the never the paddle for the over the creek storm. Nothing for the nothing that stays just right. Another language and you could be poet. Or left it over the head and after the feeling of dancing and who knows it too. But in my turn, you can't remind me of what name it is. For the love that painted the heaven, for the speaking of heaven, the faith that don't love me into existence for this smile.
cross pressing their sockets, name degraded to dust. And from the record, they're never opened. And no pockets here, only what remains tagged in dust of the never the pains of what's like this is not in disguise. The failure where the record lies are called nothing. Lost, persist. What won't go will always show. Catch the skeleton in the story. Scaled. Truth no linking. Living hand with the yield of waiting. Echoing over your never answers in time is so hollow. And you can find the distance. There's a chalk thick dust was what is said, but this is what is done. But what's filled away, there's nothing happening again for the tongue numb. Swallowing ruin of unproof. For this is the testimony to the leaking through. Do not choose this archive room, but this is choose my breath and not to mark the depth of the lush. Hush the bones and hum low. Count slow, but the truth grows where none go. Ink sinks in. Skin thin, ledger within. There's a place for it. No one outline left for this is no one bones of the sagging air for the prayer rare for repair for the nothing left but aware for the persistent here. Resist here. Insist here. Exist here. And now when I speak, the hands breathe. Something older speaks beneath among the remains of every version of me. That learned too late to survival of leaving your body behind. Call this anything but what it is, a language. Rename the pains and make it vanish. The record, the legend, the place where you can deny the come to die and not find somehow. Not to forget, call it the records of throat. Bury the lies of the alibi for what it is. If the ghost must hum from the word the truth was bad, then let them sing and I understand. Until they wrote each line a fracture from each word a track for this shelter remained and no careful divide. The room stood up and moved aside for the whistle where the visitors hovered. Threshold smiled right tight for this carefully for the painful memory of your radically for the evidence of the settling of the sound of the bone known unknown eyes skimmering on the floor with like this the truth the mic right this is unlike to fight what you dislike. I might cause school echoing never answer time is hollow fear has anger clock not lock time stop you have breath and kept keeps over kept never slept but didn't collect. This is the passive inherited silent passed down like barrel lean into don't say it yet that sometimes they rattle with the breeze and not hunting for the sickness of just shifting over you every time but they need to be standing up with the spine line for this to find a fracture we're also right for stacking this so like an accusation for the jawbones frozen to mid-sentence to the finger still pointing at the everyone for the rehearse forgetting teeth just to keep secrets of the press the sockets of the name the grades the dust just to keep for the records that never open for you pockets here that only within the remains tagged into dust what numbered the pain for the flicks to wait for the not disguise but the failure to where the record lies. Call it nothing or something. Call it what it was said for this is what was done filed away for nothing happened for the tongue numb enough to swallow for the pain unproved the root is caving. The ground, get the legs holding it high above your head for the water pouring over like the gush of the flood, a river for the lifeless body of the grass in the back of the be the old house, the bush of breath breathing again for the tempting your respiration over the several minutes away to find what had to give up for the resurrection for this to be the passion that was left, the last breath to catch, toughened up the heart bigger than anyone could expect, small. Far back as I can remember, to find those some things laughed just about some situation with the water became where they learned how to swim, kept large, or it was dug lined, they filled water for them enjoying the cool sweat, but they wanted the other side of that, but it was the old place that they could remember, but long for. Because you were so far disbeneath my league that you could never see how high I'd be for you. The right to win with this really you lost because you had all the beef for the one you never earned a fraction of. It was the satisfaction of what you couldn't contain. This is somehow you couldn't, but the wouldn't never find a contraction. moonlight dares not to creep, roses drown, velvet gloom. Air sweet, ghostly sleep, this time decayed for the rich perfume. No mortal lover ever know me so, nor stilled in the storm, but beneath the skin. Your breath upon the trembling of the soul, for the bitters, the fever grow them thin. You can finally draw me to your tender void, though this is every wound. Forget to ache. Your darkness whispers the lullabies that are dissolved for the mercy's sake. Whispers bloom for the day that's died, a dark garden, drenched in the obsidian light for this every soul fractured by the deep festering of the womb. You hold on to the pieces together for the keep me from the impending doom. Now take me to the darkening heartbeat with my breath, velvet fingers, trace stars along the skin for the bracing of the world, forgetting the chaos. And I'm undone for the hole within. Moon drips across its cross, a face that is the fire to find a warming in the hollow of the chest, and the shadows that will be against the gentle grace. And all the rest is aches to find rest. And your arms are softened to the shadow for each heartbeat, slow sacred. Hymns in the night and alive and the thriving and the hope be close, and I'm endless in the hush of the soul finds home. In the ink of desire. And fall in love with the words of the brushing over the skin, for that's the tracing over your courage of desire. And that was the right words, but maybe I'm full of dreams and the art for the holding on. And the life that almost convinced me to let it go, for this is the kind of dream, for the one that visits the midnight, for this attain me. I'm gonna be and shall to be tamed, for the never the act of shame, but the blame that you have the legacy within, for the names of who's finally guided for us and fell before the finish lines of sorrow. If I'm cruel or blind and cannot see the light, the beauty must be carved for the special ways that serve the heart to hold it. When I'm the rule for the stories for the be told, the prosperous for the brave to be less dangerous for the world to be building and until the next level. And sleep now for the weary truth that rises against the wind, for the sing comfort to you, for the tomorrow I will forget you. When my mind wakes up empty, for the name slips through the fingers that the water can't hold, but the memory does. The lonely man's thought for the try to love, to not avail, the bold for the find to watch much sorrow for the where I dwell. And the mystery is not to be solved, for the moments that sip in the shadows, the dust of the unseen, for the yet shape of the night, for the universe whispers and riddles. That I can find a soul, the note for the ends of songs, the binding of the vision for another's frame. Stars shine in countless patterns, and the mystery is not to be solved, but lived and breathed like light. Meet me again, for the pain was and I wanted to be loved and can't be met with the abuse. It doesn't want to be held and I want to be not neglected, for the wanted to be was to be, for this to find a favorite heart, for there's always the hiding between us two. Don't need to confide. And the empty echoes answers when I call the name, for the silence to hold the truth of what burns with honest flame, but no sugar words of the comfort, for no hand upon the back, for the cold indifference of the shining upon the well-worn track. I'd rather feel it nodding and bidding about it, your solitary tear, for the hollow, for the laughter, for the drowning of the shallow chair. Glide a cage of suffocating your perfume, silk and snare. Crave the wild, untamed freedom, for the this to be the breathing of open air for the soft. So let me wander only enough for the true stars going, feeding in the falsehood of a half-forgotten dream, for the death of the final curtain, for the Elisa providing a release. And the constant shadow for the adjustments and the counterfeit peace. And the lonely death of the Solomon choice of disquiet of fading sign. But born upon the pure conviction to beneath the honest sky, for the race of faith to find oblivion, for the nothing less to lose. Guided lying upon the waiting of a refuse. And the beauty and isolation for the quiet gives my life this space, this empty, but the endless, and through the thoughts and echoes for the to the sign to find a piece of this isolation always with the cage. And the words might fall, might be left unsaid. A perfect rhyme like a distant star. Left with the echoes near and far. Empty page staring in the eye, but the inspiration passed me by, for the right, the truth, the love again, for the pain, for the it will all done be in vain. For the sheer the soul, for the raw and deep, for the finding of no one wants to keep. Yourself for this a quiet voice to call the wisdom, for the learn that doesn't shout. The wear the crown for the calling attention, for the itself, for the wisdom and quiet. Phenomenal. The power of presence, to say the beauty was in the face of the glitter of the glow, for the told me it was a quiet confidence. To turn your pain into the power, for the speechless, and to pull you down, for the confusion, for the make you feel small again, for the sometimes you even angry. Or not to hate. Ordinary. For the tension, but it didn't do anything extraordinary, for there to surround the house wishing you were the echoes of you, for this to feel lifetimes gone by, for this too soon, for there never to still be here, but that you could be in the sky. What a night, what a dance, the heart is full.